Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for the Crown of the Immaculate. This is the second trial encounter made available by patch 5.0 in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. If you find yourself enthralled by these mechanics, there's really no shame in looking for a guiding light. Someone who can be your pillar, help you spread your wings and overlook your sins. My name is Ms. Tech and I'll be your trial guide. We begin with Realm Razor. This will deal raid-wide damage and healers should have their shields and heals ready to counter. Heavenly Hosts will spawn 4 Forgiven Shame and 1 Forgiven Venery adds around the platform. These adds should be picked up by the tanks immediately. They'll begin to cast Scold's Bridle, a smaller AoE blast, and should be destroyed as soon as possible. Healers be ready in case any of those AoE blasts go off. Daybreak will cause a number of AoE circles to form on the ground. Move out of these as necessary. Next, 4 circles on the ground will slowly bring down Sin Spheres to the platform. At least one player needs to stand in each circle to soak the incoming damage. At the same time, the boss will cast Enthrall, a gaze attack that all players will need to turn away from to avoid. If you don't, you'll be confused and start attacking your teammates. For the next round of adds, the boss will cast Guiding Light, buffing them with Fothri's Blessing. This will give the adds the ability to cast more AoE attacks, so be mindful of where you're standing as you burn them down. Eventually, the boss will stop moving and begin to grow Exalted Wings. During this time, high raid-wide AoE damage is going out, so healers beware. He'll then knock back and stun all players, signifying the beginning of the next phase. From this point on, if you wipe, you'll start back at the beginning of this phase. Righteous Bolt is a heavy-hitting tank buster. Cooldown and heal through this as necessary. The first Winged Reprobation cast will call down 2 weapons onto the platform that will throw out multiple column AoE attacks in set patterns. Move out of each as necessary. The next Winged Reprobation cast will add a moving blade with 2 gaps in it that will circle the platform. Players can either choose to move with this turning AoE blade, or can position themselves to stand in the gaps of the blade to avoid getting hit, all while dodging the other column AoE attacks. The boss can move to the center of the room and cast Rightful Reprobation, throwing out 8-line AoE attacks towards the outer edges of the room. Getting hit by this will deal damage and debuff you, so be sure to avoid it. He will quickly soon after cast another round of Rightful Reprobation attacks, but this time with far less warning. I would recommend moving into a safe spot during the first round, and staying in that same area until the second attack goes off. Shadow Reaver will deal high raid-wide damage. Healers should be extra watchful of debuff players during this cast. Eventually, the boss will move to the edge of the platform and become invulnerable. 4 Shame adds will again spawn around the platform, with 1 invulnerable Venery ad in the center. The Venery ad will target a Shame ad and attempt to consume them, indicated by this very big blue tether. Players will need to destroy the tethered ad before it gets sucked in. Otherwise, they'll have to deal with a spicy AoE blast that will debuff every player. At the same time, you're dodging all manner of AoE attacks. Once all 4 Shame adds are destroyed, the Venery ad will lose its invulnerability and you'll be able to destroy it too. The goal is to destroy all of the adds before Innocence gets to 100 on his Immaculate Authority gauge, or you will die. Once all the adds are down, cooldown, shield, and heal through the boss's ultimate blast. You'll need lots of cooldowns here, especially if your party is suffering from any debuffs. Next up, the boss will move to the center and cast God Ray. This will cause 3 rounds of giant pizza slice AoE attacks to come out from the boss. Players will need to adjust into each safe zone to avoid all 3 attacks. Light Pillar will target a random player for this lineup marker. All players need to share this damage as it can do an insane amount of damage, so be ready to line up behind the boss as soon as this lights up. Periodically, the boss can move to an edge and cast Beatific Vision. This will do proximity-based damage from the center of the room, and all players must immediately move to one of the sides to minimize damage. Drop of Light will target players with these massive AoE circles. Affected players will need to separate to avoid overlapping damage. As the encounter progresses, you'll notice a lot of these attacks will begin to overlap. The basic principles of handling each mechanic remains the same, just make sure to take each in turn. I'd say the most dangerous mechanic is properly stacking up for Light Pillar, as even having just 1 or 2 people missing the lineup will result in deaths. All of these mechanics will repeat until the boss is down. If you have
Are you so determined to die? One last chance, villains! Bow down and acknowledge your king! Your god! Come! I cast down. But it is you who are the villains. Father told me that I am hope. I am righteousness. And I am a god. That is why I was born, as man and sin eater both. I kept the people safe. They respected me, worshipped me. How can this be? I should be the one looking down at you. Help me, damn you! I am your god!
Look! The sky!
Fools! Were it not for my decisive action, the whole city would have been overrun, razed to the ground. Yet they dare to complain about casualties? Spare me. I'll wager they were put up to it by those wretches who seek to usurp me. They're stirring up the citizenry. But if they think I will yield to the likes of them, they are gravely mistaken.
To be subjected to such deplorable treatment, such ingratitude. You have my sympathies, sir. You do so much good for this city, and you could do so much more were you not surrounded by fools.
Who are you? You're not supposed to be in here.
My apologies for the intrusion, but I come bearing a proposal, one that will ensure the longevity of your reign. But give me the word, sir, and I will bring hither a light warden. By giving its power to the babe within your lady wife's womb, we shall create a transcendent being, a king to rule over all. And as sire to the king, your authority will never again be in question.
Amazing. Before my Vorthri, they behave as docile pets. With this gift, my line should be guaranteed power for perpetuity. We shall rule the whole world.
By all means, sir. United under Yulmor's banner, men will cease fighting and abandon their ambitions. Thus, they will grow fat and complacent, and in their sloth, seal your supremacy.
Are you all right? Say something!
"12 Forfend. He cannot contain the light. He's beginning to turn. Urianger, if you've aught up your sleeve, now is the time.
It's changing back!
The combined power of every Light Warden is too terrible a burden for any one soul to bear. And so I shall relieve you of it.
Exarch! What are you doing?
I will channel this profusion of power to the Crystal Tower and use it to travel to other worlds. As I have dreamed of doing ever since I first learned of their existence. Who would choose to remain here in this dying realm when they might go elsewhere and begin anew? Not I. And thus did I use you.
No, I don't believe you! It doesn't make sense! Damn you! We won't let you do with him as you please.
Do not interfere! Please, I beseech you all, let him go!
You knew of this, Urianger. "'Tis all a fiction. Such vaguely defined acts of teleportation stand no chance of success. The Exarch will never live to see another world, as he knows only too well."
Then what does he mean to do?
He means to take the light with him into the rift, where he will die. From the beginning, he intended to sacrifice himself to save our friend and Norvrend.
At journey's end, an opportunistic thief makes off with the hero's prize. A paltry way to end a chapter, I concede. Yet your tale will continue, and my role in it will scarcely be remembered. Worry not. Whatever should become of me, I will be happy and free, safe in the knowledge that I have played my part. for fighting for this world, for believing. Fare you well, my friend, my inspiration.
Only those who possess the royal eye of the Allagan Imperial line are capable of controlling the Crystal Tower. Such individuals do not exist in the First. Therefore, in all likelihood, the Exarch arrived here with the tower. This much I had surmised, yet I could not discern his grand scheme. To think that he went through all this trouble for the sake of a single hero. It's almost admirable in its absurdity. Alas, it is not your grand scheme that will succeed, but ours.
You bastard!
Stay put. Your friend is still alive, but whether he remains so depends on you. What a disappointment you turned out to be. I placed my faith in you, let myself believe that you could contain the light. But look at you now, halfway to becoming a monster. You are unworthy of my patronage. I am an Ascian. My heart's sole desire is to usher in the great rejoining. 100 years ago, I entrusted my comrade Logriff with the task of increasing light's sway over this world. This we sought to do by manipulating heroes. When that failed to achieve the desired result, I created Vorthri. Thanks to your meddling, that too has ended in failure.
What was your true purpose in approaching us?
By your 12, boy, have I not told you before that everything I said was the truth? You were specimens by which I might gauge man's potential as it stands. I genuinely had an interest in you, genuinely considered taking you on as allies. Provided he could contain and control the light. If not, then he, and by extension you, would be of no use to me. 'Twas as simple as that.
So, we've been found wanting. How disheartening. But even had we fulfilled your conditions, there was no guarantee that we would cooperate. What then?
Then I simply kill you all. At the very least, it would restore the world to the way it was before you went about trouncing Lightwardens willy-nilly. Suffice it to say, it would be most inconvenient to have all that light taken away. And I would be lying if I were to claim his actions didn't have me worried. You still retain your form and your senses, but you have all but become a Sin Eater. Whether you will it or no, your mere existence will serve to engulf the world in light. Those in your company will likewise turn into Sin Eaters. And in time, you will succumb to your base instincts and hunt innocents to feast on their sweet, sweet ether. Those few with the will left to fight may rise up against you. But before your absolute might, they will quickly know despair. There is no hope. We are finished. Mankind is finished. Ah, the irony. What fourth we achieved through bliss, you achieved through despair. But I have overstayed my welcome. I shall look forward to seeing you bring the world to its knees, hero. Exarch! I have naught to show for all the time and effort I invested in you. He is a small token for my troubles. I did not expect that I could learn aught from man, but I may yet learn something from all the knowledge he had hoarded for his precious hero. I pity you, I do. Your friends are now your foes. If you do not kill them, they will kill you. When it all becomes too much to bear, seek me out at my abode in the dark depths of the Tempest. There, you may complete your descent into madness with some dignity, far from prying eyes. Till then, I bid you farewell. Eat.
Ah, finally. You're confused, and small wonder. After you collapsed, Emmet's self vanished. Then Reen did what she could to stay the raging of the light within your body. Thanks to her, you're still you, but she's only delayed the inevitable. You're not going to like what you see, but you still need to see it. Like this all over. The whole of Norvrad is shrouded in light again. And it's because of you, and the power you absorb from the Wardens. No one knows but your friends. When they carried you down from the mountain, they told everyone waiting below that they didn't understand why the light had returned. And now they're out there trying to allay the people's fears while searching for a way to save you. If you're well enough to be up, you're well enough to get some fresh air. Better that than stewing in here. Go on. Go.